What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today we're going to be talking about Operation Swarm, the most recent patch, update, whatever you want to call it, for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And what's insane about this is this game is nearly 3 years old, and they are still adding content with it. And with Operation Swarm, they added 2 new weapons, a new map, a new camo, and finally a new game mode. Now, the real interesting thing about this is this event goes until May 18th, and if that date kind of rings a bell for you, May 17th is actually the community reveal for Black Ops 4, so the whole overlap there is kind of interesting if you ask me, but I'm going to make a video coming up in the future talking about that in particular. Before we get into talking about Operation Swarm, though, I just wanted to say that as of right now, if you're watching this video as it goes live, I am streaming over on Twitch. My Twitch will be the first link down in the description. I'm going to be playing some World War II, I think, so if you want into that kind of thing, you can go check that out. I'm actually going to be streaming every Monday to Friday from now on, at least for the rest of the summer, so if you're into the whole Twitch thing, you can check that out down in the description. But now that I'm done with the self-promotion, let's get back into talking about Operation Swarm. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about here before we get into the 2 new weapons is the new map. Now, you're seeing gameplay of it here, and what this is Fringe Nightfall. So it's Fringe, the map that was already in Black Ops 3, but they first of all put it at night. There's kind of like this big storm going on in the background, and on top of that, it's completely reskinned. So it's kind of more bright and vibrant compared to the kind of ghost farm town that we knew Fringe to be before. Now, it's a more modern day map, and in my opinion, this map actually looks better like this than it originally did in-game. Now, what's real interesting to me is that nearly 3 years later, they're still creating new maps for Black Ops 3, and what I'm kind of wondering is whether they're actually working on adaptive maps for Black Ops 4, and what I mean by that is variable weather for individual maps. So say, for example, take Nuketown, but then make variations of it. Make a night version of Nuketown, make a snow version, make a sunny version, and whether all of their maps are just going to have different versions. So for example, you take the 13 maps that they normally put in a Treyarch multiplayer game, and then add dynamic weather to them. Maybe it's sunny, maybe it's rainy, maybe it's night, maybe it's snowy, and then all of a sudden, your 13 maps become 39 different maps because of the changing weather or changing light on the map. Now, I don't know whether they're working on this for sure, it's just an idea. Who knows, maybe they're just trying to release new content for Black Ops 3, and I am just very, very strongly overthinking it. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm curious whether you think this is something they're working on for Black Ops 4, or whether I'm just a nut thinking of conspiracy theories. The next thing I want to talk about is the 2 brand new weapons. So we got the Sten and the RPK. We'll start with the RPK. It is an LMG, and I actually really like this LMG. In fact, I really strongly believe it may be the best one in the game. It kind of compares pretty well to the BRM, where it has kind of a slower rate of fire, where it's not too slow, and higher damage, good range. You're looking at like a 3 to 4 bullet kill, at least that's what it felt for me. And your reload time isn't too long. It's still longer because it's an LMG. The real downfall to it, though, is it's only a 40 round magazine. If it was a 50 round magazine, this would literally be one of the best weapons in the game. The one thing I will say, though, is you pretty much have to use quick draw on this thing. It has a very long aim down sights time if you don't, and I found as soon as I put quick draw on this weapon, I immediately started doing better with it. Now, don't get me wrong, this is by no means is one of the best weapons in the game. It's just one of the best LMGs. LMGs really don't quite compare to some of the SMGs and assault rifles in this game, and even shotguns. But the thing is it's nice to see them kind of give the LMG class some love, and this one is a little bit more comparable to assault rifles, and you would be able to excel with this weapon if you do manage to get it out of a supply drop. The second weapon we got is the Sten. Now, the Sten is interesting. I would say it's probably most comparable to the Razorback, simply because it has a better range and damage than it does a fire rate. You are going to be able to pick some people off at long range. It has a little bit more recoil than the Razorback does. That being said, this is definitely a very good weapon for hardcore, as, like I said, it has comparable stats to that Razorback. So if you're a hardcore player, this is definitely one you want to get your hands on. You'll do very, very well with it, similar to the Razorback. Also similar to the Razorback, it's definitely not the best weapon in regular core. Don't get me wrong, it's still good, it's a decent weapon that you can excel with, it's just nowhere near as good as something like the VMP. As far as what attachments you want to use on this bad boy, the only one that I can really strongly recommend is a grip. Like I said, it has a little bit more recoil than that Razorback, so to kind of make it a little bit more similar, more on par with that weapon, I definitely think grip is a very good attachment. Other than that, it's kind of up to you. It has decent iron sights, so you don't need a red dot, but really that just depends on whether you prefer red dot iron sights or a BOA 3 sight. Kind of up to you. So those are 2 new weapons. I don't think they're the best weapons they've added into the game ever, but they're definitely pretty good. They're not bad, and if you do manage to get your hands on them, you definitely can excel with them. Now, the new camo that they added into the game is called Hive, and if you ask me, this is probably the ugliest one they've ever added into the game. It's nowhere near as nice as some of the other ones that they added, but it's a limited edition thing just like the other ones, so hopefully you're able to get your hands on it while this event goes on. As I mentioned, the event goes to May 18th. And then the final thing that they added is the new game mode, and the new game mode is, of course, Prop Hunt. And I have to say, I think this is probably the best version of Prop Hunt we've seen, at least on console, yet in a Call of Duty game. It's a lot of fun. They added a lot of new features. First of all, if you're the team that is not hiding, you get a cool little mini game before the game starts. You don't get any XP for it or anything, but it's still fun to play. And on top of that, if you're the team hiding, there's a couple of new features. One of which is if you're actually playing on Nuketown, the only prop you can hide as is a mannequin, because the mannequins are, of course, all over the map. Now, you think this would be very easy for the people trying to find the mannequins, where in reality, it's not that way whatsoever. First of all, you get 9 decoys, which is insane, and once someone actually kills one of your decoys, it kind of redeems you, and you can place more decoys. So that's one way, but on top of that, there's a ton of glitches currently in the game. People can literally hide up in trees, people can hide out of the map, and if you know what you're doing, you can pretty much automatically win when you're hiding. So they need to patch that if they are going to keep this game mode in there, but I would say it's a lot of fun to be able to play this on Nuketown and hide as mannequins, and it's even fun on the other maps as well. But all in all, I would say this is a pretty damn good update. Once again, they're adding content 3 years later. This is really something I hope they do with their other Call of Duty games too. Once Black Ops 4 is out, I really do hope they keep supporting it the same way they did with Black Ops 3. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of this update down in the comments. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Were you lucky enough to get any of the new weapons? Also, if you're new to the channel and enjoy, it would be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to be live on Twitch all this week from 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to check that out, it'll be the first link down in the description. Or if I am live, there should be a little notation on screen on the YouTube video as well. So go check that out if you're into that kind of thing. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. And until next time, guys, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this